right, you guys, we are live in effect. This is the Locker Room Show. I know that we're getting started a little bit later, but this is going to be well worth it. Trust me, because we have an amazing guest. You guys know we always bring it when we come in the Locker Room Show. This is the show for the players, the parents, the coaches that are serious about this football entertainment industry, whether it's high school nowadays, junior college, prep school, college, NFL, we don't care. We're going to cover it, and it's football only. So tonight we have an amazing show set aside for you guys. I see already people are popping in with us. You guys are going to be delighted that you decided to join us. I have none other than my host with the most. That's the fella to the far right, Q, the guru. What's going on, player?
What's going on, Coach? What's going on? How you feeling, man?
I'm ready to go, man. You ready for these topics?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. We about to get after it real quick.
And then, you guys, we have the pleasure of having one of Northern California's finest coming out of SAC. He is somebody that had an amazing career, you guys, all conference at Colorado State, and then went on to be a big-time player for the Cincinnati Bengals, linebacker, hard-hitting linebacker. They used to call him the MaddBacker, and that is none other than Adrian Ross. What's going on, boss man?
Oh, what's going on, man? Just some more of it. Ready to get to it.
There you go, man. And I know we had you on in the Locker Room Show when it was all audio. So you're looking good, brother. I see that time hasn't done you bad.
Oh, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm repping one of – didn't Sadiq Bey go to – Sadiq Bey go to Colorado? Yeah. I got on the Sadiq Bey.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Representing. So,
hey, baby.
There you go. Hey, baby. So let's get after it. I see we got Jimmy Rucker. Jimmy joining us. He said, let's get after it. Big Jimmy said, let's get it, Q. And then, of course, the mother-in-law always holding us down. Looking forward to the great content as always. We got Eric Foss from Alabama. He might be in Georgia now. His son just signed, you guys, with Nicholls State. A quarterback too, so he's behind center doing big things. I see Rick. So thank you, Rick, for joining us. So let's get after it, you guys. I know we came on a little bit later, but like I said, this is going to be well worth your time. Once again, all of the topics are at the bottom. We cover what matters to you in the football industry. So this first one to warm us up, you guys, is the young man, Javon Kinlaw, first-round draft pick. That's with the 49ers, defensive lineman. And Grant Cohn, somebody that kind of prods the bear a little bit with the 49ers players, and has been picking on Javon a little bit, some would say. And Javon went off, Q. He went off on him. He flipped his hat off his head and was calling him out in public. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion. I'll start with you, Q. Where do you think the line is drawn between the players and the reporters? Do you think reporters should be able to say what they want and not have any repercussions?
I'm not going to say go to the extent Coach is saying say what they want. But it is up to the athlete to have that self-control. Me personally, I've always thought, even as far back as high school, but definitely in college, that it needs to be, some type of, curriculum or classes, dealing with the media. It's important. It's going to happen. You're going to get tough interviews, and you're going to get those reporters that you're going to want to go to commercial and like, you know what, but you got to have that type of control. You have to. That's what you pay for. You're a professional.
Yeah, you're a professional. And AR, I know that Cincinnati Bengal press could get under your skin a little bit. Did you have any run-ins when you were playing in Cincinnati, or was everything cool with the press?
Oh, everything was cool with me. I wish, just like you said, in terms of nobody ever taught us and what it actually is. And I still think to this day, no one's necessarily teaching. I think when they are teaching, they're teaching them how to talk and trying to tell them what they should say versus what the actual entities are and how you guys should coincide. I think that I have some former teammates that were star players but they had their run-ins with the media. And I think some of these, especially, I mean, the status-wise from top to bottom, when I'm meaning not necessarily talent, but paychecks, right? So the guys that are getting those big paychecks, the interviews and the media and the talking comes with it, right? I think some of those guys want to be like the other player, and they're like, man, why are you always bothering me? Blah, 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 blah. And I can't never go the lot. Yeah, because you making a lot of money. Like that's a part of why they're paying you what they're paying you. There's that part of it. Then there's the other side where you see with Belichick. Belichick doesn't let anybody young, even if they're the star, you don't see them talking. You don't see sound bites. So either someone else is teaching or you have the control within the school, the organization. So I think it works both, right? With not just the player, but we also have to start telling these athletes and then these coaches, you guys give them your tools for them, arm them with something else off the field. I mean, this is really on the field, off the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I really think is really overlooked.
No, that's a great point, man. And it gets to you young football players that are watching live or maybe later. It's the total package. You guys want the big dough, but that's a part of the package, is being able to handle the media, like AR said. And I see in some of the comments, one of your old teammates, man, George T. Schramm, linebacker.
George?
Yeah, George at Colorado State. His son is a part of our program, Adrian, and he's going to be going to Colorado State. Great young linebacker. So the Buffs dropped the ball on that one. I ain't even going to get into that.
Good.
He's going to be cracking heads in Fort Collins. So shout outs to George and Rocco out there. But on to our next topic, you guys, and this one is the gift that keeps giving. And, Kaepernick saying he ain't done, and he's doing workouts, and it looks like the Raiders have jumped into the fray as far as possibly giving him a shot. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion, man. Adrian, do you think this is just a PR run for the Raiders to just kind of get some heads, or you think they're really considering bringing back Cap?
I think both. Definitely, that's the game the Raiders have always been in. I mean, the Raiders are never going to pass up how to make some money. Yeah. They made that move, and they've been trying to get to where they need to be, and they haven't been there in a long time. And, they're notorious for signing former 49er players as well, as we've seen in the past, with Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott, Rice. And, Rice. They always do that. And I think it would be a great PR move, right? I mean, just the colors they have, I don't know. I'm sure you probably get number 7, but, the other thing for me, I always felt Cap could play, talking about a guy on the field. For me, that was when I was an agent, and I actually went to his home in Reno. And I'm pretty sure I was probably one of the first, if not the only guy talking to him at the time, and so it's just been great for me to see this young man that could ball that I saw, because being from that conference, I knew that a lot of us were very talented, but we're not in the national spotlight. Mm-hmm. Right. And he was playing during a time, Boise State. It was Boise, mm-hmm. And he went in there and knocked them off.
He was right.
Right. Yeah. And really, if they wouldn't have lost that game in Hawaii, right. If they wouldn't have lost the game in Hawaii, which a lot of people don't know how tough the Rainbows or the Warriors now make it to play when you play that 7:30 late game in Hawaii, how tough it is. So they happened to fall and they lost. They would have been an undefeated team going in, right? So he didn't really come out with that status. And I think status is a big thing. And that's why I want these coaches to know what they're doing. When the games matter to a certain level, when, say when you have, what's the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys that Kaepernick was playing against? Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah. So you look at Kellen Moore as a coach, and Cap is still talking about playing.
Yeah.
Right. But Kellen Moore was the most winningest in college football, and that's all we kept hearing. But he lost to Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Right? And
Facts.
he's this genius and he's all this. What offense do we see the NFL running all of a sudden? The pistol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how are all these teams being able to run the pistol when this young man ran it for years and his coach was damn near like the inventor of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear with this workout stuff. Like either you got him on there and you have some stuff to utilize him. Because I always hate this. So and so is working out. Like I did that when I tore my knee. As I went and worked out for the Raiders, and I'm like, y'all can't stop the run.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're working me out?
Yeah.
Look what I did to y'all. Put the film on.
Yeah.
So I always like, you know, when you ask me about workouts, I always think it's a pub son because you're announcing it and all this other stuff. It's like, you know, other than somebody being injured, I always hate this, you know, so-and-so is working out like as if playing football is such this thing.
Yeah. No, that's a great point right there.
Yeah,
you know,
facts.
if you want the guy, just sign him, stop playing around. Q, you get a house if he's playing this year, you lose a house if he's not. Which one you betting on, brother?
Hey, I agree. You know, the Raiders have always been, you know, taking pride in being unorthodox. You know, when Al was alive, and the same thing since he's been gone. I think they need to go ahead and sign him. Not even so much with, you know, with PR. I mean, he still got his arm. He never got any injuries or not. He stayed healthy, you know. So I mean, it's no physicals that's gonna be an issue. Obviously, man, you gotta always have a solid backup. Just go ahead and sign them. Just go ahead and sign them. You know, let them get in. Let them digest the playbook. At least get the nuts and bolts of the base offense and just sign them. Because you know what? You'll mess around and Carr get hurt and you'll have to leave him the keys and the boy will come through for you, man.
Well, it's going to be interesting as it goes. You know, football is the male soap operas. You know, this is about a water cooler.
Real quick, before you get off of it.
Yeah.
Is Cat better than Marcus Mariota?
Oh, by far. In my opinion, absolutely.
Peak, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he looks the same, but yeah, at his peak, I would say yes.
See what I'm saying? So he was just the backup, wasn't he? And he was playing. They were bringing him in and they had plays for him.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's definitely better than 64. You know, when you count the 32 plus the backups, he's definitely better than 64. You know, but some media publicity comes with signing him. You know, some things come with signing him. So I get it. We are on to our next topic, and you guys know that's a big one, and we'll come back to that. But here is another one, and this one affects a lot of you young student athletes, you guys looking for scholarships. Recently, the NCAA said at the Division I level, you guys, that they are going to do away with the 25-man roster limit as far as signing guys. Now, you guys may be wondering, what is Coach talking about? What I'm talking about is traditionally, you know, AR went to Colorado State, Q went to Kansas, I went to Colorado. When we were coming out and over the last few years, you could sign no more than 25 student athletes, football players to your roster. Now, that became difficult when the transfer portal came in, you guys, because schools would have guys leave last minute, but they had already signed 25 kids, maybe high school kids, JC kids, and maybe a couple portal kids. They were already at their 25 limit, and then maybe 2-3 more kids jump into the portal. So now they're doing away with the limit, but it all kind of gets back to, are there enough spots? Are there enough scholarships? So I'll bring it to you, Q. You know, you're in Texas, you're in Houston, a hotbed. Is this something that has been on the radar of kids out there? Do kids in Texas feel like the scholarships are getting a little tight?
Oh man, it's been tight. You know, it's been tight. And then, like, you know, Coach, we have this conversation all the time because the portal is, again, I kept saying ever since the portal came into play, it's a double-edged sword. It's going to help some kids, but some kids, it's going to crush them because you have kids that really should be getting D1 scholarships, but you have kids coming out the portal, that are a freshman or a sophomore that have proven, got a little bit of clock, but not really enough to do, as much as they maybe feel like they should deserve, but they're a proven college D1 athlete. Coaches are just going to naturally gravitate to them versus an unproven high school kid, so it's tight and it's going to get tighter.
That's a great point. And Eric says this will become a permanent change, he believes, in a couple of years, where there's no limit to how many guys that they can sign. Adrian, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think the numbers are the numbers? They should stay where they're at, or do you think that they should increase scholarship numbers?
Well, I've been an advocate for change for so long, and I think when we're going and we're moving towards the right way for these young student athletes to be changed, everything needs to change, and it's going to be tough for us because we were under this old regime has been in play with the minute changes here and there. When I walked on to Colorado State, that whole year I couldn't go eat with the team. A walk-on couldn't. The rules were a walk-on couldn't eat with the team, and so that was just a funny sight for me. I'm like, okay, so y'all get to speak all this team stuff. We're gonna run as a team. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And I started hitting them with that. Hey, I'm not running. I'm not running at 6 a.m. because I can't go eat with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that it was some stuff I had to cause so I could make sure I could get it, right? I didn't want to just go down the lane of, here's the rule. Okay, well, I'm gonna go by the rules. So to make it benefit me as well, since y'all say I can't go down there and eat, well, I can't get up and run at 6 a.m. either.
Facts.
Right? And so I wanted more incentive to give me a scholarship. So
were you sold a different picture going there? Did you think it was going to be different?
No, I think it was just the you don't know. I think I only looked at it I want to be a veterinarian and I want to play at a higher level football. I had D2 scholarships, and that's what I was going to say about the change. The whole scale of college football is going to change now. I think we should see JCs, which have always been a good tool that I think a lot of young men in the recent past have overlooked. Yeah. I think we have a lot of people that have been reaching. They're not developed, whether physically or through coaching and knowledge of the game, but they're moving on because they want to have signing day. And they want to be at school and they want to look and they want to say, hey, I'm going to this school.
Perception.
Versus I always tell people, I'm like, go to where you can play.
Right.
If you love the game and then know who you are. Like when I came out, I knew I didn't know who I was because I was blinded. I was playing the game until I started seeing other guys go off and get scholarships. And I'm like, wait a minute, who from where? Right. Who did what? So when that All-Star game, I was like, I got to see everybody that's going everywhere because you got a scholarship there. You got one here. I want to test my skills. And that's when I knew who I was. I was like, oh, yeah, like they about to see me in Colorado State because I don't know why I don't have a scholarship, but I know my talent is going to fit with everybody there.
Right.
Versus I think some people are reaching to get to that school and then hoping that they can play.
No, that's a great point, man. And it gets back to you guys being confident in your skill set, and because the industry will blow every way. It will blow every way. And if you wrap your confidence in the industry, man, you're not going to have any confidence. You got to know you can play, like Adrian said. We're on to our next topic, and this is speaking of the new era, you guys live in a whole new day and age as far as what's available to you and things you guys need to be aware of. The NIL is huge right now, and it's so big, you guys, that at the high school level in Texas, they're saying, hey, bring it on. Our kids are ready. Our kids are ready to get paid. They're some of the top in the country, and we're going to pass some legislation, you guys, to make sure that little Tommy, the quarterback, can go get his card too, even before he gets to college. So let me shoot it to you, Q. What you think? You're out there in Texas. This is live talk behind the door. Are these boys gonna open it up, or you think that they're gonna hold on?
It's coming. It's coming. You're gonna see these boys getting everything down here from new Raptor F-150 pickup trucks to brisket marinades. It's gonna be crazy down here. I'm telling you. You don't see it all, man. This is like California, Florida, Texas. Those are the meccas, and man, it's too many kids down here that are absolute dogs. You know, these 4 and 5 star kids, man. That they're expecting it. All the kids out there in the West Coast, and they've been eating. They've been seeing out there, man, what these boys are getting, and it's inevitable, man.
Well, you know, there's some parents out there like that.
Yeah, just licking their chops. I'm telling you, got kids, from Oak Cliff, Katy, North Shore, of course, man. All these other schools, so it's like, it's inevitable, man. I don't even really know what the holdup is. The money's coming.
It's coming. Once Texas does it, you guys, a lot of other states will follow. This is already eligible in California. I think maybe Illinois, a few other states. So, Adrian, let me bring it to you, man. You went from being in Fort Collins, broke, to now you're in a bigger city out in Ohio. Club promoters bringing things, the local restaurant bringing things. Do you think you would have been ready for that at a lower level in college?
Oh yeah, definitely. There was some money discussions back in the day. I've always been about it. I always welcome the green. But I was always. I guess for me, I was like a pro at what I wanted to do. So anything and everything football. I was talking to a lot of linebackers from Colorado, because I remember I played DN at Colorado State, but I wanted to be a linebacker. So I was studying Chad Brown when he was on the Steelers. Mm-hmm. I knew who Dick LeBeau was. It wasn't an accident that I went to the Bengals and Dick LeBeau was the D coordinator. You know what I mean? I was on my game, and I'm out here in Houston too. And so it's funny for me that I started football here. I started football in Humble. I played for the Humble Oilers, so I got to get that Texas beginning base in California. I left when I was 10 I went back to California. And so I started football out here, and I always tell the story, at 8 years old, we had an obstacle course. We had a tryout for football at 8, and it was serious ball. The coaches were like, so I was a tailback, and Bertrand Berry was a fullback. You guys know Bertrand, Colts linebacker, Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos. Yeah. So me and him was the backfield, and then we were both the linebackers. So we went undefeated.
Smacking kid.
And they were talking about keeping us on the same team all the way through. Wow. They were like, that next year they were like, hey, like, you guys got to make sure you're on this team and blah, blah, blah. But I moved back to Cali. Okay. And so ball in Texas, it's going to be a whole different game. And just like I said, I've been on it, and I'll say this little caveat for the parents that are listening. No one's in charge of you in the first place. It's just how you sign up. So to me, where they're getting ahead and they're kind of blinding everybody with, the NCAA is still trying not to pay. Like they're using this NIL and they're making everybody think that, okay, everybody's getting paid now. No, NCAA, y'all still are supposed to be paying the kids. Not they can go out and get their own deal and pay. Facts. So they put this out there to blind everybody and be like, so when the state gets involved, that's just a tax thing. So I got the juice on how to actually do it, but that's them saying, do it like this so we can have our hands in it too, or you could do it like how all the other businesses work.
Wow, very interesting stuff. Yeah. No, that definitely made a point, and I know
that's true. They're not trying to pay. You got to pay. You got to pay.
Parents on here too, you guys. This is big business. So Well, we could have a whole nother locker room show just on that topic right there.
The athletes have to start learning how to sign up as the business that they are, and not say that they're named. No, like I don't care about no, I'm Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. This is a business partnership.
Name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
But they're trying to sell them on that. They're trying to steer. They're trying to herd this whole mass into something. What I've been there trying to get them to sign with me way back then, I'm like, look, if you sign up like this, but I'm not going to give out my juice, you got to come holler at me to get that.
There you go. There you go. So, hey, this is why it's the locker room, you guys. The door's closed. You're getting the facts right here. So we're going on to our next topic, you guys. And sometimes we have to bring in topics that are real, and because it's what you guys are going through. And we've seen it before, but this was an unfortunate one, you guys. Out in Oklahoma, I never heard of this part of Oklahoma, but Chickasha. I don't know if I'm look like Chick-fil-A almost to me. But out there in Oklahoma, out by the lake, the boys decided to not just have some football actions, but they got into a fight with a rival school. Looks like also just general students were involved. Some kids got arrested, and it was a big deal, you guys. But I wanted to bring this up to you guys because we do have a lot of student athletes that we're tapping into this show, and we'll tap into the recording. I'll talk to you, Adrian, and we can always keep it real. There's different dynamics nowadays with these kids where there's the social media that we didn't have to deal with. Any tips or advice, in your opinion, on if some players on your social media or something trying to get at you, talking mess about your mama or something, on how to handle something like that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, they should try to get in each other's DMs. I mean, I think we have to I think this goes back to the whole thing is that it's different teams and you're wearing the same equipment. You guys are in the same industry. Right. And I think that when they're younger, that's the problem with football. It's like footballs and these other things are deemed these sports, but you're in the entertainment business, right? The same thing, like they just were watching all the young adults on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and all that stuff. They're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Right. So they have different agents. They know that they're going to have to work together.
Maybe the biggest entertainment outside of maybe movie, maybe music.
Maybe about it. It's the number one drama. It's the number one drama there is.
Right.
The action drama, all of it.
Yeah.
Period.
The data don't lie.
The best costumes, the most notable costumes ever.
Yeah. Good point.
Right?
No, I didn't think
on stage for 3 hours.
That's pretty deep. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I say about when they're giving everybody else these titles. The so-called student athletes at the college level are wearing the same equipment that the pros are wearing. So stop trying to say that they're in a different game and in a different business, but start teaching them the business. And that goes the same thing at the high school level. It's all just it's just a smaller play, depending on where you live. You come out here to Texas, and the play is pretty big.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The high school play is getting 20,000, 30,000. Right.
Yeah.
So, but we're just saying that they're high school students. But who cares when, so the Disney kids there's all these Disney movies and they're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, but they're getting paid, right? So I think that when we start telling these young men and women that they'll start reaching out to each other more in terms of their colleagues
coming together.
Right. Versus when they're young, it's my school versus your school, what's up? And then there's all this testosterone, which we know at that level, it starts coming out and raging, and everyone wants to put on for their show, and they're performers. So they're going to put on, and who's leading? There's your captains and whatnot. So, I mean, this is nothing new, and it's not going to necessarily just stop. I mean, like, we're going to hear these things because that's what it is. That's what the traditions, that's what they see on television, which is a big thing that guides guides these young men when they're that age, as we know, and how these movies are always showing. And that's
that's a great point.
It is.
And a lot of times, right, society bleeds into sports too, and they wilding out in society. So now they're bringing it into sports. Q, I mean, even the bowl games, man, there were some major brawls. You've been there where it's like you kind of got to ride for your boy, but like, what's the line there as far, especially off the field? Because some of these young men listening may be in this situation this weekend.
That's
Saturday night where they boy is pissed off because somebody from the other side got his girlfriend. Where's the line, Q?
I mean, no, it's like you said. And I can agree 150%. This is one big fraternity, fellas. Yeah. That's what it is. And when you start looking at it like that, like my man said, in regards to, that's exactly what we are, entertainers. That's one thing. I mean, I was looking back at some old Deion Sanders tape, when he was coming out of Florida State with the gold chains and the shades on. He knew then. He was trying to tell people then, I'm an entertainer. This is what this is. And everyone was calling him, oh man, Prime is flashy, this and that. He was trying to tell us then, and we weren't picking up on it, man.
Brian Bosworth.
Brian Bosworth, absolutely. The Bos, with the haircut, the aura, the swag, the style, it's you gotta understand, man. It's not that. And then too, and I mean, even talking about other sports, I mean, it's notorious, with the Yankees and the Red Sox, and you'll see, in the stands, like you said, it flows over into society, and you'll see their fans up in the stands fighting, man. Like, it never, ever has to go that far. Never has to go that far.
And definitely, if you're a fan fighting, you're really tripping, because they ain't gonna give you no money or come bail you out.
Stay home, right?
Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say this, to the young men. For me, I never wanted to do anything that was going to jeopardize me being able to move forward and play where I want to play and what I want to do. There was many a times that I could tell where guys get into trouble because you don't give yourself enough time to think. You just react. But I always was like, the one thing I don't want to be able to say is that if I wouldn't have did this, I would have had the chance to be able to do that. So I would just hold my tongue or walk away or whatever. And I wouldn't want to, and, I just knew the big picture. So I just tell guys that is like, don't get caught up in something that's going to jeopardize and hurt you for what you want to do for you and your family.
No, that's big right there, man. And fellas, I know that it's easier said than done sometimes, especially, let's call a spade a spade. Some of you guys drink a little something on the weekend. It's a little bit easier said than done, but what Adrian's talking about, Q is talking about, it's essential. Or you got to have some boys with you that's going to watch your back, because you do not want to lose everything. You guys have worked way, way, way too hard to lose everything. So we are on, you guys, and this is Adrian's first time in the Locker Room Show with the new show format, but we are on, Adrian, to one of the fan favorite parts of the show. That is the lightning round. The lightning round is where it goes down. You guys know all about it. The lightning round, if you guys have been tapping in with us. So if you haven't been tapping in with us, you got to get your act together, but we're going to explain to you the lightning round. It's basically our version of word association, the Locker Room Show's version of word association. We're going to put our host, Adrian, through the lightning round, and he's got 60 seconds, y'all. 60 seconds, not 50, not 120. 60 seconds to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind when we say the phrase, when we see it say somebody's name. It may not all deal with football, so you got to be ready. You got to be light on your feet, like when you are tackling Jerome Bettis. But, and a hint, I'll give you a little hint. He might be in here. So you ready for the lightning round, big dog?
I'm ready.
All right, so the lightning round, he's got 60 seconds. You guys know I've been judged before for cheating. They say I've been cheating where I start.
You have been cheating. You know when Coach started cheating, you know his freckles start glowing when he started cheating.
He's gonna have us shut down the locker room early. So just because he only got to 9 doesn't mean nothing. I'm not cheating. The record is 11. So 11 is the record, AR. If you get past 11, man, you get a nice dinner and hotel stay on the locker room show. Whoever wins right before the kickoff of the season in their city is going down. If they got a date, great. If not, they get food to themselves and a room to themselves. But 11 right now is our champ, and that is none other than Darius Bell, former UCLA Bruin, and now high school coach at Sarah High School, Darius. So we getting ready. Let me cue up the clock. I think I got some good ones tonight. And just to show you that it hasn't started yet, get it in the screen. You ready to go, big dog?
Let's get it.
All right, number 1, Joe Burrow.
Oh, fabulous, spectacular.
Number 2, Fort Collins.
Oh, the best place to live, sometimes known as the second, but it's the best.
Number 3, Jerome Bettis.
Hard running.
Number 4, training camp.
Oh, I hate it. Hate training camp in my day.
Number 5, Carson Palmer.
True professional, true pro.
Next one, Elk Grove High School.
Memories.
Next one, best running back you've played against.
Fred Taylor.
Cool. Next one, ice cream sundae or milkshake? 51 seconds.
Milkshake.
Next one, meatloaf or roast?
Oh. Ooh.
Time. And I seen I stumped you with you were being careful with Jerome Bettis. They used to battle back in the day, the AFC. So I seen them being careful. Jerome Bettis cost them a couple. Did you get the meatloaf or roast? Which one?
Meatloaf. Yeah.
Okay, meatloaf.
Yeah, you gotta rock with the meatloaf, man.
The meatloaf, and then he got
yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our champ is still D Bell. If you're watching D Bell, you're still the champ. We're gonna see somebody catch you up. But let's go back. I like going back on a couple. You said Carson Palmer, your old quarterback. You said professional, right? He was on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said and I've heard this from others, so, and I know he was no joke, but you said Freddie T, huh?
Because I had him more. I didn't get to play against Barry that much, but it probably would be Barry Sanders.
Okay.
But I think I only played against like one time versus like I got to see more physical upfront body work of Fred Taylor.
Yeah, Fred was nice though. He was nice.
Fred was a boss since
college
at Florida. Yeah, and could catch.
Yeah.
Kind of like almost bigger Marshall Faulk a little bit, and more physical. And then you had a bad one with you, Corey Dillon, in practice.
Right. So that's what all the other guys that would come to our team, they would say Corey is the best.
Yeah.
So
and practice is a little bit different in your day than today, huh?
Oh, I mean, none of them could see me, but yeah, practice is much different back in the day. I mean, 2-a-days, just what we'd be able to hit. Yeah.
Let me ask you, kind of off of the script here. What's your opinion, man, on the targeting rule and all that? You think you would have been fine and been able to adjust your game because you had a pretty physical game?
Yeah, I think I would have. When I look at most of my hits, they were all pretty clean. I was a textbook tackler, but I would think that what actually would get me would be the laying on the quarterback, or I was one in my day. I want to put my body.
You gonna feel this?
Yeah. So I think that would be the one that's tough for me. or, you know, some of the, I think it's more guys, it's not that they're making the wrong play. I'll ask you guys, have you guys ever I feel they've never demonstrated the proper way to tackle the guy with his arms outstretched. And they say, what's the one where they say that defenseless?
Defenseless. How to
and
tackle?
I'm like, what do you mean he's defenseless?
It just happens too quick, man.
Like,
it's football. It's football. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I've always thought, and when you look at it on the surface level, it's like, yeah, they're trying to protect the players. That's not the case. The issue was with all these rules and the reason they came out, and remember, Coach, we had this conversation as well. The issue has been that the NFL didn't want to pay with all these guys having concussions. So they used that as a reason to start throwing out all these rules that took away from letting the game be what it naturally is anyway. Everyone on this show, all the players that's ever put a helmet on, you understand this is a full contact game. You understand what comes with the game, but that's where you had all these rules in place. Of course, you've had more, technology and innovation with the helmets and whatnot, and I get that part. But in regards to the collisions themselves, obviously you teach kids to keep their head up and everything. But if you're coming full throttle, bang bang, it is what it is on a play, man. It's football. But they don't want to pay these dudes.
The thing that gets me is the hits that we don't see that the offense puts on the defense.
Hello.
The crackbacks and different things that we don't see. Some of those chops that the linemen, are doing. So, that's, like I said, a whole nother locker room show. And we can definitely get into
one that I hate is the hand to the quarterback's face.
Yeah.
That's a face mask. Just like how you said, how many linemen were jamming me in my face while I'm pass rushing, or how many linemen on offense are hitting the defensive linemen. We see the penalties sometimes, but that shouldn't be an automatic first down.
No,
like the penalties on offense
absolutely
are three times the amount on defense. Because another thing I don't like is that as a defender, you don't get a sack for when they get a grounding the ball. When the quarterback throws the ball away, and then they call it a grounding, that guy doesn't get the sack.
Yeah. But you got to think about it, big dog. It's always going to be about points, because in their mind, big points and big offensive plays is what's going to put butts in the seats. That was the concept from all along.
Yep. Jimmy says they should penalize the quarterbacks for bad passes. There'll be some broke quarterbacks out there, Jimmy.
You ain't lying, boy.
Because there's some ones struggling. But we are on to our last segment of the show. And Adrian, man, great content. And thank you for bringing it. I knew you would. And for those that are joining us for the first time, I'm Coach T.Wood. In the middle, you see Adrian Ross, amazing player, Colorado State, Cincinnati Bengals, and then obviously far right is Q, the guru, played up at Kansas, phenomenal defensive back himself. So we're getting on to our last segment of the show, fellas. And Adrian, I'm going to throw this one at you because you got a chance to hit the field kind of early. I believe you redshirted, but then pretty much got going after that. For one of the parents asking, what do you think were the main key factors for you to get on the field early? His son is going off to college soon. Even George with Rocco. What's some of the key factors you think that would put a D coordinator or a defensive coach or offensive coach put a kid on the field early?
Football IQ. Being in shape and being able to reset like a computer and delete the names and terminology of certain things you had prior to, and being able to input what the system is. Mm-hmm. See, like knowing the game and how I knew it, when I figure out what our scheme is, I think a lot of guys are going in a position and they're like, I'm a D tackle. And they just learn what the D tackles are, and it's like, okay, what do y'all run? Okay, well, we run a 4-3, or we run a, versus knowing what the whole overall scheme is. So when you're knowing what the coach is calling and why, you can get your job done. Right. And I think like a lot of these guys come from high school and they were the better player on the team.
Yeah.
And then when you were younger at that level, coaches let you just go make plays.
Right.
Right. When you start getting to these higher levels, you have to do your job.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you can master doing your job, then you might be able to dabble a little bit here and there into someone else's. Right. But you need to be a master of your job. And so, so for me, I knew football. And so I knew when I'm the Sam linebacker, okay, what does the Sam do? Coach says, play away, backside A gap. I don't need to look at anything, but if they're running to me, I'm going to hit my gap. If they're running away, backside A gap. Coach told me to go to backside A gap. I can't be wrong. Coach, hey, he went that way. I went here. I'm knocking people out when they cut back.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that until I kept hitting backside A gap. And I'm like, now I know why coach says hit that backside A gap.
Right.
But you still have people that would just stay high because the running backs going sideways, they're running sideways. And coach said hit backside A gap.
Yeah.
So it's like
a level of coachability. Yeah.
Having the ability to get there and to know what these coaches are trying to teach you and to perform what the strategy is.
Right.
No, that's big, you guys. And some of you guys, man, it's getting to the nitty gritty, especially some of you guys that are in high school, about to go to college. We're about to hit June. And I've been talking to you guys. A lot of you guys are leaving middle of June. So it's about to get real for you guys. Q, I know that you played early and then had to fight to kind of get back on the field due to a coaching change. What maybe is a couple tips that you would give to somebody that's about to play for a new coach?
Pretty exactly what the man said. You know, you have to understand the scheme. I think that it's so funny. A lot of people on the outside looking in, when they think football players, they think that we're just a bunch of Neanderthals and really don't understand this game is truly chess.
Yeah,
it's a thinking man's game. And once you understand, like you were saying, once you understand how you fit into the machine, how you fit as a puzzle piece, or as the rook or the knight or what have you in chess, that's how you take over the game within your position, because you understand not only in some cases your whole position, but you start understanding how everyone fits into the puzzle around you as well.
Exactly.
Then you can really start making plays.
Right.
Yeah, those D coordinators get mad. You mess up how they got their scheme drawn up.
Hey, I'm telling
you. And AR knows that, man. Don't mess up the D coordinator scheme.
Yeah,
so,
but when you can play reckless and within that scheme, that's when you'll start making plays.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been.
I was going to say exactly the other thing. Of course, I mean, for me, the standard is being in shape. I just was saying this, I think, to my mom yesterday. I said, whatever the conditioning test was, I had to hit it at least twice because I wanted to feel what I'm going to feel like completing it. And I want to know that I had the ability to complete it. And to me, what players don't know is that these coaches are giving these standards out for you to come in and be able to perform, right? Like you need to hit that standard of conditioning for what they have in store for you. So I always wanted to be able to perform. I didn't want to get there. Now I'm too sore trying to get through I'm so sore. Either I don't make the conditioning test, or I make it and now I can't perform tomorrow because I wasn't prepared to be at this level. So I always wanted to be ready. So guys, do the complete test before you get there. If you have 16 110 tests, don't do 12 and say I'll be able to do 4 more.
Nah. The last four with a key.
You seem like you had a certain level of professionalism even before you got to the NFL.
Rare.
And
rare.
I didn't have that. So you guys, like Adrian said it early in the show, know who you are, man. Know who you are. And if you don't have that level of professionalism, then you need to get some support. You need to get some help around you. Jimmy says human chess. You need to be able to adapt to different schemes. I see the Hughes family up in here. Be in shape mentally and physically. along with football IQ. So those are definitely big time nuggets.
Sure.
And, those people know what they're talking about too. So Adrian, man, I knew you was going to drop it down on us and lay it out. And that's exactly what you did. So thanks for coming on the Locker Room Show.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate it. All right, appreciate it, Hugh. Yeah, all right,
no doubt, man. We're gonna have you back on. Keep doing your thing. Where can people reach out to you?
Yeah. Oh, hit me on Twitter, MaddBacker, anything, YouTube, Mad with 2 D's, MaddBacker.
Definitely check you out.
And then Adrian Ross on IG and Facebook.
All right, you guys got it right there. You
check
reach
him out
to him, and he's always giving his opinion on some of the top topics, and he lays it. He doesn't hold back. Some guys sugarcoat it, not AR. He's going to tell it to you real style. So thank you, brother. Stay up.
I appreciate you.
All right, my man. Appreciate you.
All right, you guys. So there you guys have it. Another great episode. And if you're joining us and you haven't subscribed, then I'm not going to ask you what you're doing. I'm just going to give you a play. And the play is to hit that button and make sure that you tell all your friends, tell the coaches out there, the players, tell the business professionals. We might want to get some investment money, Q. Tell everybody that the Locker Room Show is telling the truth and giving it to you straight. And Q, you got any last words for the audience before we get out of here, man?
You know what? I don't, y'all. Just make sure click that button, get this algorithm going, and we definitely have a good one for you next week for sure.
Yes, indeed. And I see you, Hughes family says another great show. So thank you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and then join us every Thursday as we bring the topics that matter to the football players, the coaches, the parents, you guys that are serious about the football industry. We love y'all. We'll see you at the top.